Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about a very powerful concept that whether you're talking about your career, relationships, your health and fitness, any of those things could have a massive impact on that. And what that is showing up. We hear the future belongs to those who just show up. And while there is some truth to that, Sorena's here to tell you that it goes way beyond simply showing up, because the spoiler alert is it's not just showing up. That will never get you there. So in this video, we'll explore how showing up goes beyond mere attendance and just being there. We'll talk about the importance of staying actively engaged and how to cultivate mindfulness and how preparation is the keys to achieving your goals. So if you're ready to unlock the secret to maximizing your time and energy for success, stick around. Let's get started.
Okay, I'm very looking for our channel. Some of the lives in the discussion of videos. But for the next segment, my big question will take out. Take it like this.
Showing up is a key to success, but simply showing up is just not enough. It's the engagement that's crucial. Yes, those who show up are there, but if you're not engaged, it's never going to help you get to your goals. So it is showing up, but it's also being heavily engaged once you do the showing up part. But being physically present without the mental and emotional engagement is just useless. You're just a warm body. You're just there in the room. We're talking about showing up consciously, being aware, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that being engaged. That's what showing up really means. Showing up means being ready to work and maximizing the use of your time, energy, and resources. The importance of active participation. And the key word there is active, right? Participation doesn't work unless you're engaged and you're being active about it. So for example, when you talk about just showing up, that's what needs to happen. No, if you want to take care of your health and fitness and you show up at the gym, that's a great first step. But then it's about what happens once you're at the gym. What are you actually doing? Are you physically, emotionally, and mentally engaged? Are you exercising? Are you being strategic? Are you planning? Are you actually doing things? Because if you just show up at a gym and do nothing, your health is not going to change. That's where you see the fallacy of the key to success is just showing up, because it's just not. Or an example with your marriage, right? If you want to build a strong relationship, it's not just about being married. Okay, we got married, great. That's never going to lead to happiness and fulfillment. Building that strong relationship requires dialoguing, avoiding pettiness, and not focus, people focus on just winning arguments. No, it's about discussing and talking things through and working things out together. Or with your career, we've talked about health and fitness and relationships, but another thing that's very important to a lot of you is your career, right? So it's not just showing up for work or showing up to do a job. It's about productively engaging, then doing the work and asking for help, building relationships, all of those things. That's what active participation is really all about. When it comes to showing up, again, it's not just showing up, but it's actually being present. And what do we mean by that? Well, that means being focused in the moment on the task at hand. And whether that's online, via a phone call or it's in person, you're actually present and focused. And in a distracted world, that's harder than it sounds, right? How many times we're all guilty of it. We've been on a Zoom call that's very important, yet we're doing something on our phone, or we're actually checking our emails, or we're writing or working on some other project. Or if we're in person with somebody, whether it's a relationship, career, move, any of those, we're there, but we're thinking about something else. Or I'm supposed to be present in my relationship with somebody, but I'm thinking about work, or vice versa. I'm trying to accomplish something at work for my career, and I'm thinking about other things. No, it's about being present. Whatever you're actually showing up for, it's being there in the moment, aware of that thing, and focusing all of your energy, emotion, and effort into that thing, right? But again, our phone rings, our computer dings. We have all these things from the media constantly competing for our attention, even when we're supposed to be in the moment. So it makes it really hard to stay present. So saying be present is easier said than done. It, again, takes a lot of focus and practice, and it's a habit that we can build if we're just aware of it and we put in the effort. But, focus is like a muscle, and it needs to be exercised and strengthened over time. But if we do focus on that, strengthening that muscle of focus and being present, we can develop it and we can make it a very, very powerful tool on our path of success. Mindfulness and engagement. Those are huge. Again, showing up is the start, but then being mindful and engaged. We talked about the importance of being present. Well, mindfulness and engagement go hand in hand with that. Because mindfulness simply goes beyond focus, right? It's not just focus. It's about tuning into the experience and the feelings of other people. It's being aware of exactly how we're feeling in that moment and how we're reacting and how we're communicating and how we're interacting and engaging with others and engaging with our work. That's what mindfulness really means, right? It's just being fully and wholeheartedly and mentally 100% aware of our behaviors and attitudes and thoughts in a moment, right? And when mindfulness, those techniques can help slow things down a little bit, right? It enhances our awareness. We notice subtle changes in people, in our work, in the environment. That's the power of being truly engaged and being mindful about it. To take mindfulness even one step further, let's talk about Sourena, right? Sourena uses his mindfulness, just being hyper aware of his feelings and thoughts in the moment to deal with his disability, right? Because if he's not aware of that, the disability ends up controlling him, right? He can get angry or upset or frustrated or even to the point of giving up if he's not mindful about it. But he's mindful about it, right? And part of that mindfulness is, thinking about others and emphasizing with their experiences. And that helps shift the tone from jealousy to learning and cooperation and growth, right? Because again, if Sourena wasn't mindful, he could look at anybody without a disability and just be jealous or envious or angry. But he doesn't do that. He looks at that more empathetically, and that helps with the mindfulness. And they think, how can I actually work with these people or learn with these people, right? How can this be beneficial to everyone, right? But again, recognizing other perspectives really helps Sourena with his behaviors and his mindfulness and improves relationships and helps him ultimately be more successful. One of the other things when it comes to showing up and how showing up is just not enough is preparation is essential. And if we just show up, chances are there's a lack of preparation that goes with it. But positive energy should remain consistent even when you're facing negative situations, and that's where preparation comes in. It's those of us who are prepared that end up staying more positive when negative things happen. And being prepared, it means creating a strategy. But again, creating a strategy is just like showing up. It's sticking to that strategy and executing that strategy and not letting the negative things or negative people bring you down or hold you back. That's where preparation comes in really handy. And with that preparation comes another step, and that's managing negativity. The bottom line is, when we're on a quest to achieve amazing things, whether it's our health, it's our wealth, it's relationships, all of those things, negative things will happen, right? Challenges will always pop up. There's always something that gets in our way. I mean, how many times have you been in a spot in your life where you're like, oh my gosh, it seems like just everything that can go wrong is going wrong? Or maybe we have colleagues and friends like that where it just seems like negative things just always happen and it just snowballs, right? But what's important is we can't control other people, but if we can manage our own negativity through preparation, through mindfulness, through being engaged, if we can manage that negativity, not only can we minimize its impact on ourselves, but we keep it from spreading to others, right? Because we've all seen those negative people who it just seems like they bring everybody around them down. That will never lead to success, right? So we want to make sure we're not doing that. On the flip side, we're talking about not spreading negativity to other people and managing our own. We also have to manage other people's negativity, those energy vampires that just suck the life out of us. And no matter how hard we're trying, they just bring us down and they hold us back and they bring us to the point of wanting to give up. But we got to make sure we don't let other people's negativity do that to us. And we can't control them, can't control their negativity, but what we can control is how we respond to it. And that's managing that negativity and just not letting it bring us down. Sometimes we got to retreat to recharge when we feel a lot of negativity, but when we're overwhelmed, and that's okay. Matter of fact, it's acceptable and it's encouraged, right? We want to make sure that we know it's okay to just step away. When things get overwhelming, things get negative, take a beat, take a breath, and step away for a minute because that's going to allow you to recharge and that's going to make you better coming back into it and ultimately more positive. But we've got to manage negativity. And with all this preparation, managing negativity, there's always a need for a strategy, right? We can't just hope. We can't just take random actions, right? We can't just work hard. I will tell you this, I've been at points in my life, Sourena has as well, where you sit there and you're like, but I work so hard. Well, busy is different than productive, right? And that's when you got to reassess your strategy. Are the things I'm doing really propelling me forward towards my goals, or is it just hard work and busy work? And by the way, there's an unfortunate consequence of that is sometimes it feels good. Who doesn't feel good at the end of a day where they really worked hard? The problem is that working hard doesn't necessarily correlate with results. However, that's where the need for a strategy comes in. When you have a strategy and you execute that strategy full of hard work, that's where we start to get results, right? There's no wasted energy. An effective strategy involves constant change and growth. You don't simply lay out a strategy and it just works all the time. And that's the strategy. I mean, how many times have we seen it? Sourena is a huge sports fan. Sometimes you see your team go out there and they all have a game plan. They've all got a strategy. And next thing you know, they are getting their butts whipped. So what do the great teams do? Whether it's at the end of a quarter or at halftime, they go in there and they change the strategy. They adapt, they grow because this strategy is no longer working, right? And that's part of that need for a strategy is also the need to constantly evolve and adapt the strategy when necessary. And that comes, growth, right? Sometimes we have a fixed mindset. We set our strategy, we stick with it no matter what. We feel hypocritical if we change it. No, no, no. Well, that is a fixed mindset, right? And we're stuck in that. We need to have that growth mindset when it comes to strategy. We know we need it. We also know we've got to adapt it and change it to make it work the way we need it to work, when we need it to work, and how we need it to work. And all this ultimately leads to continuous growth, right? If we want to maximize our potential, whether it's with health and fitness, in our relationships, in our career, all of those things, we've got to continually grow. We're never stagnant. Once you're not growing, you're actually declining. So we've always got to be growing. And part of that continuous growth is developing a really strong growth mindset. A growth mindset is one of those things where we learn from mistakes. We understand that challenges are opportunities to improve, right? We understand that we see others not as competition or things that are unattainable, but as inspiration for growth. We know that traits and habits and skills can be developed and learned and improved. They're not just innate and we have what we have. And that's the opposite of a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset at its essence says we are who we are, right? We're good at certain things, we're not good at certain things, and that's just the way it is. And with that mindset, we look at others who are successful and it's discouraging. It feels like a comparison because we're just fixed, right? We are what we are. But again, with a growth mindset, we see those people and we want to learn and we want to be like them. We know that, again, if it's a fixed mindset and we fall short somewhere, then it's an assault on us personally because we're not capable of more. But with a growth mindset, we hit something, we fall short, and we're like, okay, how do we learn? How do we improve? So again, we need to continuously grow, and that comes through developing a really strong growth mindset. But embrace change and push forward and keep growing towards your goals. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and I'm sure that you did, make sure you like it, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel.